Today I'm going to cook an Angus tri-tip piece of beef here on the grill, and I'm going to use the cedar plank. It's going to be really delicious. It's a wonderful way to cook meat. So let me show you some of the important things that you need to get ready for this meal. Come on up to the table. All right, while I explain some of these things to you, I'm heating up the grill. So it's getting nice and warm on a high setting right now. How high we keep it is how well we control the burn of the board. Now this is a cedar plank, and this is a food grade of cedar, and I've been soaking it here in some water in a grilling pan just to make sure that it absorbs enough moisture so that when we put the meat on there, it doesn't burn to bits like charcoal while the meat is cooking. Because there's so much flame involved in this one, it's a good idea to get everything ready that you want first. So I'm going to use some dry rub on this meat. It's just a bold A1 seasoning. I'm not using any wood flavors like mesquite or anything because we already have the cedar plank flavor coming through. Get yourself a couple utensils to handle the board in case it should catch on fire, so you can take it out of the flame real quickly if you need to. And also, it's a good idea to have a meat thermometer with you and a bottle of water to spray in case the flame gets out of hand. You can just take the spray bottle, and while it's under flame, you can spray it and cool it down a little bit. It's just a safety precaution. Okay, now the steak that we're going to use is called tri-tip. Now I want to show you a picture where this comes from in the animal. This is an Angus beef. So here's the picture of where each piece of the meat comes from. This one is kind of special. You don't get a lot of these on a steer. So here is where the loin comes from, and you get your tenderloins from here. In fact, if you can see this whole section, all these pieces of meat come from the loin, and the tri-tip is one of them. This comes from the part underneath the sirloin that has a triangle shape. So that's what we're using for this today. You can use this cut of meat to broil it, grill it, also to roast it, but we're going to take this plank that we've been soaking and lay it down. We're going to put it on the plank. It's going to be a really close fit because this is about 2 pounds of meat right here. And this is from Wegmans, the type of meat that is fed no hormones or no animal byproducts. We're just going to take this right out of a nice container and lay it on the plank. Nice centered if you can. I'm going to take the dry rub and I'm just going to add this to the top. Rub it around so that it gives you some flavor all the way across the meat. There we go. Now as the meat starts to sizzle, the rub will start to spread out everywhere and run off the edges a little bit, and that's okay. But we'll start with it out on top. All right, now we're going to take this over to the heated up grill and place it right on top. Taking this along with me. All right, now I have the left 2 burners nice and hot, and I'm just going to sit this, but I want to show you how easy it is to handle this with the tongs, and for safety you can have an extra support along with you, because as this gets hot and flaming, you want to be able to handle it quick. I'm going to take the container that I was soaking the board in, and I'm going to put this on top. Let me get that. I can dump the water out.
Can you dump the water out?
Yeah, over the edge. Thank you. Could have. Alright, this is a pan that I've used for grilling many times, but all I'm using it for is to keep the heat a little bit closer to that meat than it is with the grill cover, because that keeps it from drying out while we heat it up real fast. All right, let's let it do its job here and start to burn the board while we get the rest of the table ready to bring the meat out. All right, I just want to show you what's happening in here. And you start to see the smoke coming out. You know there's some kind of burning or cooking going on. So let's take the lid off. And I want you to notice how the board looks. You can see in the back where it's hotter on the grill, it's starting to burn. So I'm going to lift this up a little bit here and show you. See how it's starting to turn to charcoal in the back? We're going to spray that down just on the edges of the board or the underside. You can see the start of the warping of the board. It's starting to turn under. You know, if I had soaked this board for the entire day, we'd have less of that. But I only soaked it for about half hour to 45 minutes underwater, so it's going to have a little drying as it burns. And that's okay because that's where we get the smoky flavor in this meat. All right, we've got it settled down a little bit. We're going to put the lid back on and heat it up some more. Isn't this fun? This is a fun way to grill. Got a lot of smoke coming out of here again. That's good. We're cooking the meat. It's smelling good. I can smell the cedar and the beef. Alright, let's take another look at this thing. Ooh, that's what I'm talking about. See that? All we need to do is be handy with your bottle of water and you can take care of that. Go. The back of the grill is definitely the hot spot. I was turning this around a little bit. I'm going to get the thickest part of the meat cooking more. All right, let's go back. A little more heat. All right, let's take a look here. How are we progressing? See, we're getting some more burning on the board here. Can you see that? It's looking good. All that smoky flavors going through the meat. A little burning back here. Check that out. See how the board catches fire? Some of it happens from the oil of the meat and some of it happens from the board drying. You can let it go on for a little bit, but once you feel it's starting to get a little heavy, just douse the flames and moisten that board up a little more and let it smoke some more. Let it smoke some more. All right, part of the fun of doing a big piece of meat is to get some of the parts a little bit different in temperature. So if we want some pieces to be rare, we want it to be 125 degrees. If we want it to be Medium, we're talking 130 to 135. And then if you want well done, you want to have your meat about 145 degrees in a steak like this. And it's very thick. So let's take a stab here and see how we're doing. All right, right here we're about 130. Down here at the end, it's hot. At the end, of course, it's more done. We're at about 140 right here. So we're going to let it flare up one more time, and then we're going to take it off the burner. All right, there we go. That's what I said, the final flame. Let's put that out. Make sure we get all the burning parts. Isn't that a nice way to cook meat though? It's fun. Got a good close up. Alright. Alright, now we're going to move this over to the table. And then I'm going to show you what the board looks like underneath. So I just want to make sure it's all extinguished. All right. I'll take a good close look as I go here. Look how crispy that cedar plank is right now. I'm just going to take the meat off of there and we're going to sit on a cutting board. While that's resting for a moment, let me show you this board. It's so light, there's almost nothing left to it. Do you see how that charcoal looks on the back? That's where we got all the flavor going through the meat from this burn. And it's really messy, but I'm going to put it over to the side. I just wanted to show you first. All right, now we're going to try cutting the end first. That should be the most well done. One thing you want to do with this kind of meat is cut it against the grain. Get nice slices like this. Look how nice that is. Now this is more well done than what you're going to see coming up. So what's nice about a big piece of meat like this, you can cook it so that it gets to the right perfection for all the people you're going to serve at one time. Oh my goodness. That just looks so good. And what I'm going to do here is taste it. Does not look great. Oh God, that smoky flavor is so delicious, and that meat is really tasty. Well, try this next time you want to grill something really fun, because it's nice to make something that you never made before, or make something really this tasty for the people that you want to serve. So thanks for watching my video. Hope you give it a try.